Episode 2: Neon Swamps and Silent Heists. The neon swamps shimmered under a greasy rain, their oily sheen reflecting the jagged skyline of Freeland Accord's undercity. Kane Voss melted into the shadows, his dark jacket blending with the night as he eyed his target, a fortified relay tower piercing the swamp's horizon. Once a wartime comms hub, it now stood as a hulking relic. 5 stories of brutalist concrete and steel, its upper levels webbed with shattered solar panels and tangles of verdant glowing vines. Rumor had it, the tower housed something valuable, a relay core worth 2,000 Toshi coins. Kane didn't buy the lowball pitch, easy jobs didn't come with this much heat. But hunger gnawed at his ribs, and creds were creds. At 29, Kane moved like a ghost, lean and wiry, his scarred cheek hidden beneath a hood. Years scavenging Freeland's underbelly had honed him. Solo runs, quick wits, and a knack for slipping through cracks kept him alive. The tower loomed closer, its base ringed by a moat of stagnant runoff, patrolled by sleek hover drones that buzzed with Libra's signature blue optics. Floodlights swept the perimeter, their beams cutting through the mist, while razor wire glinted atop a 10-foot wall studded with motion sensors. Inside, whispers spoke of human guards, ex-mercs, twitchy and armed, paired with automated turrets that tracked heat and sound. Kane crouched in the reeds, studying the dance of lights and drones. No frontal assault, he'd be slag in seconds. His gaze flicked to a drainage pipe jutting from the moat, half submerged and rusted. A tight fit, but doable. He slipped a handheld jammer from his pack, a cobbled-together marvel of scavenged circuits, and thumbed it on. A low pulse rippled out, scrambling the nearest drone sensors for a 10-second window. He bolted, boots silent on the muck, and dove into the pipe, twisting his body with ninja-like grace to avoid scraping the sides. The stench clawed at his throat, but he held his breath, emerging inside the wall as the jammer's signal faded. The courtyard stretched before him, a maze of crates and rusted machinery shadowed by the tower's bulk. 2 guards paced near the entrance, big bruisers in tactical vests, rifles slung low, their chatter a dull murmur over the rain. Kane slunk behind a crate, timing their steps. One lit a cig, turning away. The other scratched his neck, distracted. Kane moved like a panther, closing the gap in 3 strides. He hooked an arm around the smoker's throat, a silent chokehold dropping him limp, then spun low, sweeping the second guard's legs. A quick jab to the temple, and both were out cold, sprawled in the mud. He dragged them behind a stack of barrels, pocketing a keycard from the second's vest. No blood, no noise, clean. The tower's entrance slid open with the card, revealing a cavernous lobby lit by flickering LEDs. The air buzzed with static, the walls lined with defunct monitors and cables spilling like guts from busted panels. A stairwell spiraled up, flanked by a turret swiveling on a ceiling mount. Kane ducked low, spotting a service hatch beneath it. Rusted bolts, barely noticeable. He pried it open with his multi-tool, contorting his frame to slip inside, and climbed the maintenance shaft, fingers finding holds in the dark. Sweat beaded his brow, but his pulse stayed steady. Panic was for amateurs. 4 floors up, he emerged into a corridor, its steel walls etched with blast scars. A lone guard leaned against a door, scrolling a holopad. Kane crept closer, then flicked a pebble past him. The guard straightened, peering into the gloom. Kane struck, hand over mouth, knee to spine, easing him down without a sound. The door's biometric lock blinked red. He swiped the stolen keycard, and it hissed open. The core chamber was a cathedral of tech, circular, 30 feet across, its domed ceiling studded with dormant hollow emitters. In the center, suspended in a magnetic field, glowed the relay core, a crystalline sphere the size of a melon, its surface swirling with liquid light. Blues, violets, golds, pulsing like a living heart. Thick cables anchored it to a pedestal rigged with laser grids, their red beams crisscrossing the air. A control console whined nearby, its screen flashing warnings in cryptic code. This wasn't just a relay, it was a goddamn artifact, something the ASIs would kill to keep. Kane exhaled, mind racing. The lasers were tight, no gaps to squeeze through, and the field would fry him if he touched it. He scanned the room, spotting a vent grill above the pedestal. Too high for a jump, too small for most. Not for him. He uncoiled a grapple line from his pack, its microfilament glinting, and fired it silently into the ceiling. With a tug, he swung up, legs tucked, clearing the lasers by inches. Hanging inverted, he dangled over the core, sweat dripping as he fished out a prism deflector. A scavenged toy he'd modded to bend light. He angled it, splitting the nearest laser beam, creating a fleeting gap. His free hand darted in, snagging the core with a yank that broke the field's drone. An alarm shrieked. Red lights flared, klaxons blaring. Kane dropped, rolling as the laser snapped back, singeing his sleeve. The core thrummed in his grip, heavier than it looked, its warmth seeping through his gloves. Footsteps pounded outside, guards closing fast. He bolted for the corridor, slapping a holomask patch onto his chest. It flickered on, projecting a scrambled face over his own. Random features, untraceable, a ghost in their feeds. The tech was bleeding edge, bartered from a Nova Reach smuggler, and it ate power like a beast. But it'd buy him seconds. He sprinted down the stairwell, 2 steps at a time, as shouts echoed above. The lobby was chaos, guards flooding in, turrets whirring. Kane vaulted a railing, sliding under a burst of gunfire, and hit the courtyard running. Then he heard it. A second wave of noise. Not guards. Rivals. A crew of 5 burst through the outer wall, clad in patched armor, weapons hot. Scavs like him, after the same prize. Too late, suckers, he thought, clutching the core. The facility's defenses roared to life. Drones swooped, turrets pivoted, and a hail of plasma bolts lit the night. Kane didn't stop to watch. He dove into the moat, swimming hard as screams and explosions tore through the rival crew behind him. One yelled, a curse, cut short by a drone's screeching blast. The swamp swallowed their fate. Caught, cooked, gone. Kane hauled himself onto a skiff he'd stashed earlier, its engine coughing awake. The core pulsed in his pack, a beacon of trouble he didn't yet grasp. As the skiff sliced through the neon swamps, rain masking his trail, he grinned, breathless. The tower's lights faded, the rival crew a memory. Whatever this thing was, it wasn't just creds. It was a key to something bigger, and he just kicked the hornet's nest wide open.